Heather, welcome on. Thanks for joining us, one of our all-stars here at PT-2U.
Yeah.
Today, we're just going to have a candid conversation about one, your experience so far, two, things you've been maybe pleasantly surprised by, three, how PT-2U is different than other companies, and maybe four, what you envision your future as the years go on here. So let's take it back and start with one, before you even came on, kind of not the application process, but the funnel in. What were your going thoughts, and then what kind of pushed you over the edge to join PT-U initially?
Well, at first I was a little skeptical. Have to admit, I was a little like, I'm not sure about all of this. But after talking with you, learning your system, how dedicated you are to your company and willing to help out and just kind of help guide through the entire process, I didn't feel like it was a fly by night type thing. I felt very confident that I had the support on the front end and the back end in order to get all my patients seen and to be productive. And um, I really felt that I got a lot of positive feedback and information from you when I needed it. And it wasn't like, oh, it's 3 weeks later and you're finally getting back to me. It was like literally that day. So that was really important to me. Especially if you're out there on your own and you have a question, you need it answered because it was new and I was trying to learn new systems and everything else.
Yeah, those are all really good things. Let's pinpoint though the conversation we maybe had of when you're about to come on board. Then you have to hear obviously, hey, you're kind of doing this for yourself, meaning you're your own boss, you're in charge of everything. That's not for everyone. So where was your head at when one that got brought up, and then two, you having the confidence or I guess the trust in us to help you get to that point?
So I was a little nervous kind of going out on my own. But again, having you guys being there to help back up was really extremely helpful. And I am a part time physical therapist. So it was looking forward to just adding in a few new clients here and there that I knew needed to continue with PT. But I had to discharge him after PT, after part A had completed. And I know they needed more. They were still having a lot of difficulty, and going and to an outpatient clinic just wasn't a possibility for them. So I was very excited to have that opportunity to really continue to help my clients and get them to the point where they felt comfortable and safe in their home and going out into the community and being part of just their whole society.
Yeah. Talk to me about, I guess, the ease or the onboarding of patients to the platform, your experience there.
Extremely easy. Once I helped identify a few patients that I felt that could benefit from PT to you and discuss this with them as far as getting them on, it's very easy. You take pictures of their insurance cards and then you send everything off to Serene. And literally within 45 minutes, I feel like she's like, gets back to me and lets me know this is approved. This is what's going on. This is how many visits they have left. And she's asked, can I reach out to the doctor to get the prescriptions? So she is doing so much on the back end, ensuring that we can see these clients in a quick and timely manner. And then
Yeah.
once I get the approval and she's got the script on board, she lets me know. And then when's the best day to do their eval? And I go ahead and get that scheduled with the patient and proceed forward from there. So extremely easy, not waiting for notes from the doctor to justify why I need it. It was much more simple and streamlined.
Perfect. That's awesome to hear. And then let's switch to sometimes every therapist's nightmare, the EMR system, and your experience with it, and obviously using it as a platform. That's a big thing for therapists.
Yep.
So, what are your thoughts on the EMR, and how it makes your day to day?
Yes, I find the EMR is very user friendly, easy to use. Adam did a great job walking me through like my first eval, my first few notes, really making sure I knew what was needed for each exact note, how things transfer over from note to note. And not every box has to be completely filled out. So that does give you some extra time. But as far as ease of use, it is one of the easier EMR systems that I have used. And I've been on Home Care Home Base and hundreds of others. And this one was just very user friendly and easy to navigate.
Yeah, clinician is one of the best, and that's how we use it for our therapist, myself, and everyone because it just makes life easy. or
Yes,
no carryover visit to visit. Things are saved, there's templates, etc. So, I want to make something that's very easy for everyone else if I had to be doing it too.
perfect. And that's what I like. You want
Yes. Okay. One thing maybe you've been pleasantly surprised by that you were hesitant going in, and then, maybe fears or worries had settled after you've been on for a while.
guess just the overall process, I was a little like skeptical of, oh, are we going to take 3 weeks to get somebody in to try to get them seen and that sort of stuff? Because that does happen a lot with the Medicare Part A through the home health
Yeah.
companies, because we got to wait on doctor's notes and then we have to have approval and everything else. And this just was very streamlined. I had open communication with everybody. I'm out here, we're doing it on your own, but you're not alone. You always have somebody to bounce ideas off of. There's a marketing team that will help you market for yourself if that's something that you're into, so you can continually to grow your business. If you're wanting just to take a few patients here and there, that's another option if you're a full-time or a part-time PT. So there was a lot of positivity that I felt made it easier to adjust to a whole new system. And I've worked for several different companies, and this was probably one of the easiest onboardings, easiest with learning of the computer system and learning how you guys like things done from the back end and the front end.
Most of our therapists are independent PRN like yourself. And that is the bulk of our therapy. And I was in that same boat initially, which is why I wanted to start working for myself. I didn't want to be told I got to drive here or there, etc. So, what would you say to that PRN therapist who wants to maybe take control of maybe their clientele, their visits, and why you should maybe start to go out on your own with support as opposed to just, work for three different companies, PRN, and kind of be dragged in different spots. Talk to the part timer.
Okay. So I've been part time for many, many years now. And the reason why I did it is because I wanted to keep my territory small. I
Yeah.
didn't want to drive 40 miles to go see one patient and then drive back and not get paid for some of that driving time. So I really enjoyed having the opportunity to keep my area small. And now with PT-2U, can identify those clients that need to still have therapy that are appropriate for an in-home therapy, but I do not have to send them off to another company because I can continue with them in their home. And they are so excited and just thrilled that they can continue versus having just a few visits through Part A. We can really hone in and continue with them with Part B. So if you are a part-timer, it's very easy transition to take some of those Part A patients and bring them to the Part B side. You can also go out and easily market in the community through the senior centers and that sort of stuff. If you have a doctor that you're friendly with, that and they trust you and you trust them, they can also be a great referral source. And I found it to be, again, pretty easy to continue to see some of my patients that need it. Not every
Yeah.
to continue on, but those that do are really thankful to have continuation of continuity of care, sorry. And they know me, I know them, and we've already established a great rapport and they are excited to continue with that instead of having to meet somebody all new and almost starting all over again. So the
Yeah.
process is easy. If you're a part-timer, even some full-timers, you want to pick up one or two, I think it's a very easy transition to do for your patient.
100%. And, a lot of our therapists, they want independence, they want autonomy. And I always say that comes with having your own clientele. That comes with being in charge of your own people, your own patients, and growing that clientele through the years. That way, whatever each individual's career looks like, you have that control and flexibility, whether you are a mom, whether you are going to retirement and you want to still work the 2 days a week of your patients you like. That's where it comes from. Like I said, having your own book, having your own clientele. And that leads to obviously therapist happiness, success, independence, because you're not maybe beholden, if that's a downside for some therapists, which I know that's a lot of complaints, to someone else, kind of telling you where you need to go and what you need to do, which is just popular. But for others, it's just a great supplement to their current work, like in your case, etc. Others, they want to do the whole thing and they want to start just being in business for themselves and start from the ground and work really, really hard to build up a caseload. So everyone's a little bit different in that sense. So who would you say this is for? And what would you say to that person maybe on the fence of taking the leap and just, taking the next step of going forward with PT2U?
I can say that the support system has been fantastic. So if you're worried that you're kind of going out there on your own and you're not really sure what to do or how to navigate it, that you have the support. People will be there to help you. They will guide you through it. You want to grow this to be, again, your own independent physical therapist and having your own huge book of clientele. That is a complete possibility. And again, you have support through a marketing team, through Adam, through the back of the house who's helping pull through scripts and everything else. It is much easier and I was pleasantly surprised at how smooth everything went. So I would say it's something to try. If you're looking for a little bit more independence and wanting to make some extra money and be there to help your clientele, I would not I would always encourage you to go ahead and take that leap. And I think you also will be surprised at how smooth transitions were and just getting the people the help that they need. I really thought it was much easier than I had anticipated.
Very nice. I think we'll end on that, Heather. So, like I said, that was awesome. Thank you for sharing your experience and coming on today, and helping anyone else who may be on the fence of joining.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Have a good one.